The grandest of ideas can hail from the smallest of agencies. It's a belief that the mad world swears by, but how often can you spot a case that substantiates that quote? Well, Kolkata-based Tiami Teas and Fisheye Creative Solutions just made global headlines by riding on the U.S. presidential elections and taking hyper-relevance to a whole new level. Small brand for small agency, but what a grand global idea. The duo made a bold move by delivering a consignment of, believe it or not, 6,000 tea bags of green tea to the presidential candidate Donald Trump with a tongue-in-cheek message for him. Drink tea and purify your mind. So I decided to catch up with the client agency duo behind the Tiami intervention campaign to get a sense of how this client and agency have the stomach to go ahead with this rather brave and risky campaign. Listen in.
You came all the way from India to do what?
Donald Trump has got the whole world worried. Mexicans, Muslims, Jews, blacks, women, immigrants, gays, Democrats, hell, even Republicans. We can't stop him, but maybe we can change him. Tiami, a tea company from India, decided to deliver 4 years' worth of goodness straight to Trump Tower in New York City with a message.
Dear Mr. Trump, Namaste from India. We're sending you lots and lots of natural green tea. It fights against harmful free radicals. It helps purify mind and body and regain a healthy balance. It's also proven to make people smarter. Please, Mr. Trump, drink the tea. For your sake, for America's sake, for the world's sake. Drink the tea, because it's never too late to cleanse yourself. Donald Trump, drink the tea.
Knocked on the wall in his brain.
And then the world can be a little bit of a better place.
Drink the tea.
I think I'm more calm.
I hope he drinks the tea. I hope he bathes in the tea.
Donald, please, please, please drink the tea. Tea for Trump?
Trump. Tea for Trump. Donald Trump, drink the tea, or you're fired.
Thank you so much for joining me, Sumit and Orko Basu, the duo that's really taken the global advertising and marketing world by storm. Thank you so much for joining us. Truly a pleasure having you on Brand Equity.
Thanks for having us.
So let me just go back. So a little bit in time before we come to the campaign. So Tiami as a brand is how old?
It's about 2.5 years old.
2.5
We
years.
launched in 2014.
Okay.
Mid 2014. It was geared primarily for the Indian market.
For the domestic market,
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
What was the brief you got from Sumit and his team when you first started interacting and engaging with them?
Well, given that they had 17 at that time and now 20 different flavors and variants, the need was definitely, like Sumit said, to amplify the message about all these variants and all these benefits about tea, and not be limited to only one particular flavor of tea. There are people who like Assam tea, people who like green tea, and people who like other variants. But Tiami was a brand saying that you could be having different teas at different times, and you needn't be monogamous, so to speak, with a certain flavor.
Sure.
So that was really our job. So.
Okay, so great. So you had this strange out there idea, animate the whole scene for me and my viewers and play it out. I mean, the client is here. The agency is here, so it's perfect. Play out the drama as to what really transpired in that closed room when you first pitched this mad idea to Sumit.
I think we put together a presentation and put together some visuals of what it would look like to have these sari-clad women walking down New York and delivering this big box. I think the idea came to us fairly fully formed, and the minute we had the initial idea of sending tea to Trump, we knew the elements it would require, and we quickly put that together. And next day, Sumit was in our office, and we said, we got something to show you, but I mean, you've got to be sitting down because this is not what you expect.
Sure.
So, and then we just rolled with it,
Yeah, at that point we thought it was a joke. This is like a psychological thing. You show an insane idea first, and then you show the less insane one later on. Just psychologically willing to accept the second one.
Sure.
Except that we didn't have a second.
Didn't have anything else. But eventually we saw through it. Right? We
How eventual was it? Like
about 8-9 hours later.
8-9 hours?
Yeah.
So that quick?
That quick.
You launched a new brand.
Correct.
You're attempting to educate Indian consumers. So you were really looking for, a safe TVC, and maybe, put it on digital, et cetera, the plain vanilla stuff. So, I mean, how did, or maybe slightly edgier, okay, I'll give you that
Sure.
much. But, I mean, beyond that, I don't think you were expecting such a dramatic skit to be played out, right,
Yes.
globally.
Yes.
So, how did you, convince your own self and, and of course buy the idea from the agency and not look at them as a bunch of clowns who've completely lost their marbles?
So I could see why it would work, why it would maybe not work as well.
Okay.
Right? Definitely, there were a lot of reasons it might not work at all. But if you see where we were back then, we didn't have a lot of advertising budget.
Sure.
We don't want to do the print and the whole TVC and keep do that whole thing. So we said this is like it's a Hail Mary for us. If it works, it really works. If it doesn't work, well, we'll go back to the drawing board, fire the agency, find a new one, and take it from there.
Sure.
But hats off to them. They were able to at least think of an idea that eventually did make sense entirely. There was nothing wrong with the idea except a risk.
So, Sumit, do you think the reason that you bought this idea and you partnered the agency, and two insane people came together to put out this really epic idea was only because that you're a young professional?
Yes.
Because if you were, let's say, even 10 years older, you would have, your safety net would have come into play, and you'd be like, no, I'm not so sure.
Well, there are two things. I agree with the safety net. The older you grow,
Yeah.
the more safer you want, right? Because you've got a lot more to lose.
Sure.
Correct. Also, I think in my head, I am myself responsible for the repercussions, right? If you look at some of the large organizations, repercussions when things go south becomes complicated to handle.
But when you say that, I mean, just to dumb it down and explain to viewers who are watching this, is when you say that I am responsible for the repercussions because you own the company,
That's correct.
right? That's what you mean. So
I can't get fired.
Yeah, you're not a CEO who's an employee finally, right?
That's one way to look at it.
Yeah.
Right. So, and also, I firmly believe, as a young brand, if you're going to fight with a lot of giants in
Sure.
other markets,
Yeah.
you've got to be very guerrilla. You've got to be quick, agile, come in, go out, do your thing, and spread the word, right? As opposed to a slow build-up.
So tell me, once he bought in and you gotta go ahead. Give me the whole process in terms of the sheer logistics to pull something like this through, because it's one thing to design a 30-second commercial or even a long 7-8 commercial these days on YouTube because it's free, as opposed to actually logistically envisaging it in a certain way and ensuring the execution matches what you envisaged.
Right. Well, I mean, it was extremely challenging. When we first pitched the idea to him, the Republican nomination race was still wide open. Obviously, everyone was talking about Donald Trump, but by the time we actually completed the film and he'd won the presumptive nominee, and by that time we'd already started speaking with a bunch of American partners who would help us, actually do the filming and everything, PR persons and over there, and we started seeing people start dropping off. And they said that, we still love the idea, but we can't bear the risk of being associated with something like this.
Sure.
Because this time the elections in the U.S. it's different, right? So that made it even more difficult for us, because then we reached out to friends. Thankfully, my partner, who's not here today, but he lived for years in New York, and ran an agency over there. So he had his contacts, reached out to his friends. Finally, we put together a team. I think of really the bravest and most passionate team that we've ever put together. And it was a privilege actually to be having that team. We had a line producer, we had people over there, and yeah, so we pulled it off.
Yeah, but I have a very basic question. You know, in the video, you've actually shot the delivery, this huge delivery of over 6,000 tea bags.
It's actually 4 years supply.
Being delivered to you know, to Trump's office, the Trump Tower. How did you manage to, you know, get through security and you know, actually get that parcel in?
We didn't know.
Oh,
When we
okay.
were doing it, we didn't know what would happen.
Sure.
We had 12 cameras running,
Uh-huh.
ready to capture whatever happens. You know.
Wow, okay.
So
Real time.
yeah.
Mm.
So we did it. We rolled it right up to the door. There was Secret Service all over, and but I mean, we didn't take chances with the delivery either. I mean, there were like multiple ways that we actually delivered the tea. Yeah.
Oh, you have backups.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and all of them work.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we couldn't risk one plan failing.
Yeah, sure.
Right.
Sure.
Eventually, we had to have the delivery happen.
So you're saying the Trump Tower security personnel were so gracious that they accepted the delivery?
No, the Secret Service stopped us. There were tests and all that. Meanwhile, we had other deliveries happening at the same time. So
Through multiple
there was-
routes?
Yeah.
Well, can you go through those routes?
There was courier. It was courier as well, so they had to accept.
Okay.
You know, so we definitely wanted the tea to reach him.
And you
Now,
all
whether he actually-
captured all the different routes on camera?
No, we just captured the main one.
The main route.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
The other routes are all backups to the plan.
Okay.
but thankfully, I mean, if it was India, we'd probably have got lathi charged or something like that.
Now that you have established yourself as a really cutting-edge brand that is really bold and ballsy, this momentum that the brand has got, and it's amazing because the amount of earned media you've got not only in India but globally, you might possibly start thinking of actually exporting to Yami now, right?
Absolutely.
So, are you going to stick your neck out time and time again every time you do something with this brand, or is that something you haven't thought about?
No, that's the plan, right? So the platform we've created is Tiame Intervention,
Mhm.
is where the brand comes in and intervenes in people's lives.
Good.
And you know, the way to intervene in anyone's life is to suggest to get them to drink some tea.
Sure.
Because we think tea can do anything.
Sure.
So this is going to happen.
Post this campaign going viral and everybody talking about it, have you seen a spurt in sales?
We have.
You have?
Yeah, we've
Okay.
seen a lot of spurt in online. It's too early to talk for retail,
That's true.
but online we've seen a lot.
Okay.
A lot of goods have been ordered from the US,
Wow. Okay.
which is very supportive. The people are willing to pay a lot of shipping charges to still get the thing. So yes, we've definitely seen a lot of spurt, not just from India or the US, but just from globally as well.
Could you give me a sense in terms of sheer figures, in terms of what this campaign has done in terms of sheer numbers, so people get an idea as to the scale
Sure.
and the reach of this campaign?
Sure. So if you look at the start of the campaign, on day one we were at about 1 million views, which is very surprising for us, and that's when we knew this is probably going to work.
Yeah, but did you have a digital agency doing something?
We did. We had an agency called Arm Digital in Delhi that was working to build this entire platform for us. Today, where we stand, we're at about 3.4 million views. We've got over 800 different articles mentioning us, over 65 countries, in 20 different languages. We've got about 130 to 140,000 people actively engaging with the content that we've created. And yeah, so we're very